Hello and welcome to Off the Beat and Track podcast. I'm your host, I'm Stu Whiffin. It's another week, therefore it's another episode. And joining me today is Lola Bates. Hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. Um, I was just chatting to your friend, and she was saying that the weather's nice in the UK. When she said the weather's nice in the UK, this is like the first tiniest bit of sunshine that we've had all year, and so uh, we get overexcited when we get a glimmer of sunshine. Uh, and then you chime in with that you're in LA. So I'm taking it you've just been basking in sun for the last like however many years, right? It's not a rarity sunshine where you are, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Once in a while we'll get a rainy day, which is kind of nice, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, we get way too many of them ones. Anyway, I appreciate your time, Layla. It's really nice of you to join me today. And before we even get onto your music, we're going to talk about some other people's music. And we start the conversation by me asking you to tell me the track that you think has the greatest ever intro, please.
For this one, I picked "Let's Go Crazy" by Prince, which I wouldn't be surprised if you haven't gotten that before. Yeah, I'm just such a massive Prince fan. He's like definitely in the top five for me, and that whole album, Purple Rain, is just like was when I found it as a kid, it was just like such a defining moment of like, whoa, that's what stardom is. And yeah, that I love that intro because you could tell like from a musician's perspective, it might have like started as a bit in the studio or Prince, found a sound on a synth that sounded like a preacher could
Yeah,
be
yeah.
preaching to it, and then it he just turned it into something like otherworldly and like non-celestial, and then but he always finds a way to like bring his audience in and make it feel like you're a part of like the world, that the otherworldliness. So I just that song is such an amazing start to that record and an awesome intro. Yeah.
I mean, Prince is no stranger to a good intro, and
Yeah,
it's it was the anniversary of his death 2 days ago. Um,
very true.
he died on my birthday, and
Oh my gosh, happy late birthday.
thank you. But I was in Austria working, and I woke up on my birthday on my own, like away from my family, and I thought, I'm
Yeah.
going to put the one TV channel on that is in English, and that was the news. And I literally just turned it on. It was like, Prince has died. I was like, oh man, how
Oh my
shit can my
God.
birthday get? It's like I'm
Oh,
on my own in another country, and now someone's just told me Prince has died. This is
oh, that's
awful.
terrible. Oh my
But
God.
one of the most beautiful things to come from such an awful thing is that every year BBC Six Music dedicates so much time to Prince, as to so many radio stations and TV outlets and such. And so on my birthday, I was driving in my car, and the radio stations were just blasting Prince from every
Oh,
possible place. And the way that you described how he found something, that simp sound and then kind of made it otherworldly. I think Prince was from another world, right? He's just like
absolutely.
I think there's just them that era. I'm really old, so like I was a kind. I was when Purple Rain dropped. I was probably like 12, and so I do feel like I was a little bit blessed, Lola, that like at 12
Yes.
years old, like I managed to get like the peak like Prince, peak Madonna, and peak Michael Jackson. I got the three big
My
pop stars
God.
all at their
Yeah.
absolute,
Wild.
peak of creative, output. But I think like Let's Go Crazy is a gem, and even if you look at like Raspberry Beret, just that one,
Yes.
two,
Yeah.
or even like the latter
I
stuff.
never hear people counting off their songs anymore. Like it's just so rare to just have a confident like one, two, three, four. Yeah. I
Yeah,
love that he did that. It just brings so much energy like right to the start of the song. Yeah. Prince was definitely like my mom would play him in the car. Raspberry Beret was like our song growing
yeah,
up. Super cute. I wish I got to see him live. I never saw him.
yeah.
So that was a bummer, but yeah. He's definitely in the top five.
Fantastic. Well, look, I mean, I just mentioned like a really instant intro in Raspberry Beret, and you've got intros like Alphabet Street, which is just him
Yeah.
yelping, and then like, and the same with Get Off. It's just a big scream, and then bang, it drops. And so he's got all of these really cool and Kiss, all of these like instant
Yeah.
intros that are so instantly recognizable. But then you've also got stuff like Let's Go Crazy, which is this long drawn out intro. So I'm going to ask you, Lola, when you're making music, are you ever considerate of maybe the way that people and younger people are consuming their music now, which might be via other mediums that maybe wasn't about when Prince was making music, like TikTok is being utilized so for good or bad, however you want to look at it, for getting music out there, and a world of Spotify which is drenched in new music coming thick and fast,
Yeah.
and so that seems to be pushing artists and maybe more commercial pop artists into grab them really quick, right from the off. We need them instant, blending it down to almost like a pop science of, we
Yeah.
need to, don't bore us, get us to the chorus kind of mentality. Does any of that filter through into your creative process?
A bit, yeah, and especially just from listening to Prince, and how intentional he was with his outros and intros, that definitely has fed me in a way that I'm like, okay, I need to be really intentional about how people enter this world that is the song. And like, I'm not, if you listen to my music, I'm not necessarily conventional in terms of genre and
Absolutely.
instrumentation and songwriting. So I don't necessarily follow any guidelines, but the more that like my voice and my harmonies becomes like my main instrument, I'm trying to, in my intros of songs, create some kind of interesting hook that immediately brings you into that vocal arrangement and into the world of my vocals. So that's definitely something that I'm starting to incorporate in songwriting way more, and it's fun. Yeah, I just love coming up with, and also I love coming up with my own sounds too. So I'll often like process my vocals through pedals and create loops, and so I find interesting hooks out of that make for cool intro and outros. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Hmm.
Lola, tell me the first song that you remember hearing that had an emotional impact on you, please.
Yes. For this one, I picked "The Night Before" by the Beatles. I think I was about 9, and we used to spend a lot of time at my uncle and aunt's house in. They lived off Wilshire in Hollywood, and every weekend. And my uncle would kind of sit in his room, working on his computer, always playing music, and my sister and I would be just playing in the living room. And he played "The Night Before" on his computer one time, and I like peeked my head into his room, and I was like, "Can you play that again?" And then I made him repeat it like maybe 15 times. Yeah, I don't know what it was about that song that just instantly hooked me. And then I was like, music. Like all of a
Yeah.
sudden my brain like turned on and I was like, the Beatles, music. Like I can't stop listening. I think it's the hooky harmonies, honestly. Because when I listen to the Beatles, instead of sometimes I'll just to sing along, I oftentimes sing along with the harmonies rather than the main vocal lines, and that's what I feel like makes their songs so hooky. And like they have a lot of depth in their harmonies. So that was the story behind that one. Yeah.
Nice. I mean, you mentioned your uncle playing your music there. Lola, give us a little kind of sort of peek into what home was like, and was that a musical environment growing up?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. My dad's in the music career. He's a film composer, record producer. My mom's a nurse, actually. So, she's different worlds, but they've been extremely supportive from the get-go. Like when I was 5 years old, my dad signed me up for piano lessons. He's like, you don't have a choice. You got to play an instrument until you're 18. And if you want to become a lawyer after then, you can. And then, I ended up studying with a Russian piano teacher for about 15 years, classical music, and it just started becoming my life. So, yeah, I was just really born into it for sure.
And also sort of having that influence of classical music, like from if your dad was doing film scores then, and your piano teacher, was it your uncle that was maybe exposing you to more, I guess, traditional popular
Yeah.
music, like,
Yeah.
and what sort of stuff aside from the Beatles was you getting there?
Yeah, there was definitely an element of just fun. Like whenever we went over to his house, I mean, that kind of stopped around the age of 13, but just as a kid, oh my God, they introduced me to so much. They introduced me to the Ed Sullivan Show, and that was the first time I saw the Doors, and I was just like, oh my God, Jim Morrison. And uh, Crimson and Clover, and just so many different songs off the Ed Sullivan Show. That was big for me. They introduced me to so many musicals growing up. My sister and I loved to just dance and sing to musicals. He'd play, Calvin Harris and the Talking Heads and just like different pop. So, yeah, that was a super musical environment now that I, recall those memories.
Love it. Well, look, staying in the formative years, for track three, please tell me the song that reminds you of your time at school, please, Lola.
Yes, I picked Tyrone, the live version by Erica Badu. Definitely reminds me of high school. My entire high school experience was because I grew up in Laurel Canyon, pretty much just like driving around Mulholland and listening to music with my best friend. And she was super informative in terms of music. She grew up on so much soul, R&B, and like introduced me to the world of black music. And like I just got so into Motown and soul. And Tyrone was pretty much that was our song that we would sing in the car, and we created like did a different choreo to it, and like yeah, it was just such a fun, sweet, carefree time. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about school because you said, your dad was like, right, you're going to do piano lessons till you're 18. Then if you wish to be a lawyer, that's on you. Um, by the time you're at what we call secondary school in the UK,
Hmm.
and you're hitting your sort of, your early teens and stuff, like, was music something that was completely embedded in your soul at this point? And was it something that you considered could be a career option?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, from a young age, I knew that it was a career option, and so many interesting people have come through this house since we have the studio at our house. So, my dad has brought really cool artists back to this place. We've had interesting parties with artists, so it was never a question of like, oh, is this possible? But just having the
Lola,
support.
you can't say that and not say some of the names of the people that have been in that room. I want to know who's been round your house to party.
Well, definitely. I mean, our next door neighbor is Jerry Cantrell, who
Just throw that in there.
I've had a long history with. That I toured with him for 4 years as his keyboardist, and then my dad had a long working relationship with Marilyn Manson. Um, and through that, I mean, just interesting people popped up like Courtney Love and Johnny Depp, and just cool people have passed through the house.
Oh, you say
Yeah.
cool people. Sorry, the coolest people have been around your house. It's incredible. Oh,
I know.
fantastic. All
Pretty
right.
pretty wild.
So I guess me asking if music was, a viable option for a career is a really stupid thing to say, really, isn't it? It's written in the
Yeah, it's
stars, right?
mostly just an inner battle, really, of
Yeah.
like of learning how to separate myself from a classical mindset. And that was something that around the age of 15, my piano teacher started realizing I didn't want to be a classical pianist. And so she kind of started relating pieces to nature and emotions and storytelling, and she showed me Glenn Gould and how unique that he was when he performed classical music, and that like that shaping of the music really started helping me find my own voice. And I think that's around the time when I started getting into songwriting, was about 15. And still to this day I feel like the shackles of classical music, but I'm like it obviously defines the way I play my instruments, but yeah, I'm just trying to continue, breaking out of the box. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic. Tell me the first song you remember buying from a record store, please, Lola.
Yes. This is Snowfall by Claude Thornhill. The whole album's from the 40s, and there's a really cool record store in the Valley called Freak Beat Records. I've used to frequent it all the time. Just owned by a bunch of cool music nerds. And I found this. I was really into jazz in high school. Oscar Peterson, Hazel Scott, like just in that whole realm.
Yeah.
And I found this album. I had known about Claude Thornhill, and it was $5. So I just bought it, and I cannot find the music anywhere online. Like I've literally done deep digging, and the only song I can find online is Snowfall. So I feel like I have this really cool time capsule sitting in my collection of vinyl. So yeah, I
Oh,
love it.
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
What's What's your relationship like with a record store now? Because in the UK, like there's been such a huge resurgence in vinyl, and record stores are popping up again, which for an old guy like me, it's beautiful to see. And
Yeah.
is that something when you're out and about, you're in a town touring or whatever, and you see a record store, are you going in?
Definitely. Oh yeah, big time. It's literally like a magnet for me. If I have a couple extra bucks and a day off, like that's what I'm doing for sure. Or if I find an artist that I absolutely love, I'll go digging online for just an interesting issue of their vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. Right, well, from the record store, we're going to go clubbing. And Lola, I'm going to
Yeah.
ask you to tell me the song that soundtracks your years clubbing. I mean, I'm saying that like you're really old and you don't go clubbing anymore, but you're still allowed to go clubbing. That's not the
Yeah.
rules.
I definitely
But
still dance.
fun, wonderful. Well, tell me the song that soundtracks that.
Yeah, this song is called "Use My Body" by Mavis John. I actually don't really know much of Mavis John's music, but at the time I was living in Nashville, in between 2020 and 2022, and after the scare of COVID kind of died down, some people felt a little more reclusive. I felt like, oh my God, I need to get out and like dance and just be a human again. So I was constantly dancing in Nashville at different bars and clubs, and that song I found it, and it just the person that I was seeing romantically at the time, like the lyrics of the song just encapsulate our fun relationship and dancing together. So yeah, I love that song.
Tell me a little bit about being in Nashville and the influences musically that are there. I mean, in a place that's drenched in music, did that find its way into your creative juices?
For sure, yeah. Maybe not in terms of Americana country, but when I was there, I did some deep digging into the local scene, and there were some really cool noise and punk bands in Nashville playing at just local venues. There was a really cool synth pop scene, and just on any given night, you could go out and see amazing music. And there were just some really cool country folk artists that I ran into that I loved watching live. So it definitely just kind of fueled the fire for writing for me. And I think it was a good time because I was still in school. So I didn't have also the shackles of just financials. And
Sure.
I really got to just like play around with my sound, write my worst songs, and like just, explore who I was as a young artist. So that was a good time for me. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Mhm.
Well, for the next track, I'm going to ask you to tell me your favourite song from an artist from your home county, please.
Yes, I picked Crosby, Stills and Nash. They were formed in LA, and I picked their song Guinevere, which is a darker song by them. Something about their like the lush harmonies that they create just reminds me of the landscape of California, and just where like the mountain meets the sea, the desert meets the forest, and like they just really capture that in their music. Something about it just has that intrinsic natural California feeling. So and that song too, lyrically, it just feels like they're describing a woman who is just so close to nature and Gaia and like these spiritual elements. So I love that. I feel like sometimes they're singing about me in that song.
The way that you just described music, like with such a strong visual
Hmm.
of the landscape and such, like, is music something that it's going to sound quite odd, but is it something that you can picture as you're writing it and as you're
Oh
singing it?
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely a bit esoteric, but I mean, I feel like the music I write definitely has a clear visual world around it. And I'll often just go driving in the mountains listening to a demo or a new master of a song, and visuals will start to pop up, and I'll be like, oh, there's another music video. Like
Yeah.
it's project time, you know? And definitely just again on a day off, I'll go into the mountains and spend time listening to music and journaling. And I definitely feel like the nature of California and specifically is like a big funnel for my creative energy. So yeah, I love it.
Fantastic. For your last track, I'm going to ask you to tell me a song that you think many people may not know, Lola, that you would like them to hear.
Oh my gosh, this one was an easy one for me. It's called Memory Lane by Minnie Riperton. Uh, she again was like one of my biggest inspirations as a vocalist in the soul realm. And yeah, this song is just, it's so special. I just remember finding it in high school and feeling like I had found an artist that like understood me at my core, and she just captured nostalgia and like joy and sadness all in one track, and like the musical prowess of her voice and the way she uh, utilizes her throat when she's singing, like just her technique is amazing. And she was kind of the first of her kind. So I was really lucky to stumble upon that song. It just opened a whole door for me as a vocalist. And it's really special. So yeah.
It's a fantastic track. She's something special, Minnie Riperton.
Hmm.
Well, look, Lola, what we do is we put together a little Spotify playlist of the songs that we've spoken about today, so people can go and check them out and go and listen.
Amazing.
Um, but and obviously we'll put some of your music on there as well, Lola. But let's get round to that because we've been talking about all these other artists. It feels right that we should talk about what you're up to. What's happening?
What's happening? I'm very excited to announce my debut album, Love and Power, is coming out May 8th. Um, the first two singles of the album are out now, Girls Girl and Madonna Gold. Super stoked to have them out in the world and just revamping myself as an artist under the title Lola Bates. I've released music before as Lola Colette, which is still out there for people to find, but this is a new sound and a new sort of confidence that I'm bringing to my songwriting that just, it feels great to be releasing it. And the whole album I co-produced with a very close friend of mine, Maxwell Joseph. Did all the songwriting, all the lyric writing, all the arrangements. I played mostly everything on the album except for drums, horns, and strings. And yeah, it's like a full amalgamation of who I am as an artist in this moment. So I'm really stoked for people to get a listen.
And the album comes out
May 8th.
May the 8th. Okay. What's happening live wise? Are you going to be touring that?
We've got an album release show on May 6th here in LA at No Vacancy, which I'm super excited to be putting these songs to a live band, putting a whole new band together, which is going to be just such a fun experience. And after that, I just plan to continue playing around LA, just different iterations of my music, whether it's just me and a drummer, or me and my tracks, or me solo, or me with a full band. I really want to start getting into the nitty gritty of how I want to represent this album live. So it's definitely going to be coming to stages all around LA and California for now.
Fantastic. Well, Lola, if people want to keep up to speed with future releases, live shows, where's the best place to keep up with all things Lola Bates?
Well, you can definitely check out Instagram, which is I am Lola Bates, or my official website, which is lolabatesmusic.com. And there's a email sign up there too. So definitely encourage people to sign up.
Okay. Well, we'll put the web address in the show notes, and if it's cool with you, when we drop this on Insta, we'll tag you in it. So if people aren't following you, we'll make it nice and easy for them to do so.
Amazing. Perfect.
Lola, thank you so much for giving up your time today and coming on the show. It's been a real pleasure talking records with you.
Yeah, you too, Stu. Great to meet you. And thank you for having me.
An absolute pleasure. I'm going to press stop now, but don't go anywhere.
Okay.